Hey everyone, welcome back to True Crime with Lux. Today I'm going to be talking about Aileen Wuornos, the notorious serial killer. I am going to start at the very beginning. Aileen was born Aileen Carol Pittman on February 29th of 1956 in Rochester, Michigan. Her mother Diane Wuornos was 14 when she married 18-year-old Leo Pittman. They had a son together. Then, at the age of 16, while pregnant with Aileen, Diane divorced Leo. Aileen never met her father, who later killed himself in prison while serving a life sentence for kidnapping and raping a 7-year-old girl. Aileen's mother abandoned her and her brother with their grandparents in 1960. Both of them happened to also be alcoholics. They soon adopted the kids on March 18th. Aileen's childhood was not great, to say the least. She claimed her grandfather would beat her and sexually assault her. She said that her and her brother would also engage in sexual activities together. At the age of 11, Aileen was exchanging sex for cigarettes in school. By 14, Aileen got pregnant from a family friend who had raped her. She had a little boy at a home for unwed mothers on March 23, 1971. He was placed up for adoption. After this, Aileen dropped out of school, and then soon after, her grandmother passed away from liver failure. When Aileen turned 15, her grandfather kicked her out of the house. She started living in the woods and making money through sex work. Her first arrest was on May 27, 1974, in Jefferson County, Colorado. She was 18. She was charged with driving under the influence, disorderly conduct, and firing a gun from a moving vehicle. She was also later charged with failure to appear. In 1976, Aileen made her way to Florida, where she met 69-year-old Louis Gratzfell. The two soon married and even had it published in the local newspaper. Now, Aileen liked being involved in other people's problems, and so she would frequently get in fights at the bars. She was soon arrested and placed in jail for assault. She even assaulted her new husband, who just had been married for over a few weeks, and he filed a restraining order against her. After this, she went back to Michigan, and on July 14th, she was arrested again for assault and disturbing the peace after throwing a cue ball at a bartender. A few days later, on July 17th, Aileen's brother died of esophageal cancer. She received $10,000 from his life insurance policy. She and her husband then annulled their marriage. She spent some of the money to pay fines for drunk driving, and the rest she spent on a car that she soon totaled. In 1978, at the age of 22, Aileen attempted to end her life by shooting herself in the stomach. Throughout her life, she had tried 6 different times to end her life. Aileen's next arrest was in 1981 in Florida for armed robbery. She served 1 year in prison. Then, on May 1st, 1984, she was arrested again for forging checks. Then, on November 30th of 1985, she was a suspect in a theft of a revolver and ammunition in Pasco County. On January 4th of 1986, she was arrested in Miami and charged with car theft, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice. June 2nd, 1986, she was detained after holding a man at gunpoint and demanding he give her $200. She just was in trouble with the law a lot throughout her life. When Aileen was 30, she met 24-year-old Tyria Moore, who was a motel maid. The two had met at a Daytona Beach gay bar called Zodiac. They soon moved in together, and Aileen supported them with the money that she made from sex work. The two were questioned on July 4th of 1987 in connection to an assault and battery with a beer bottle. Now, I'm going to get into her 7 victims, the men that she killed between 1989 and 1990. Richard Charles Mallory, age 51, owned an electronics store in Clearwater. Aileen claimed that Richard had beat, raped, and sodomized her after picking her up for sex. She said she killed him in self-defense on November 30th of 1989. Richard had been previously convicted of attempted rape in Maryland, so showing a pattern of behavior, she thought she could get away with it. His vehicle was found 2 days later by the sheriff's department, and on December 13th, his body was found in a wooded area several miles away. He had been shot several times. His official cause of death were 2 bullets that had hit his left lung. David Andrew Spears, age 47, was a construction worker in Winter Garden. He was declared missing on May 19, 1990. His body was found on June 1st along US 19 in Citrus County. He had been shot 6 times with a .22. Charles Edmund Carskadone, age 40, was a part-time rodeo worker. Aileen killed him on May 31st, 1990. She shot him 9 times, then wrapped his body in an electric blanket. His body, severely decomposed, was found on June 6th of 1990 in Pasco County. Witnesses remembered seeing Aileen driving his car, and she even pawned one of his guns. Peter Abraham Seams, age 65, was a retired merchant seaman. In June of 1990, Peter had left Florida to go to Arkansas. His car was found in Orange Springs, Florida on July 4th. Witnesses remembered seeing Peter and Aileen together leaving the car. Her handprint was also found inside of it. Peter's body has never been found. Troy Eugene Burris, age 50, was a sausage salesman. He was reported missing on July 31st, 1990. His body was found on August 4th in a wooded area along US 19 in Marion County. He had been shot twice. Charles Richard Humphreys, age 56, was a retired U.S. Air Force major, former state child abuse investigator, and former chief of police. His body was found in Marion County on September 12th of 1990. He had been shot several times in his head and torso. Walter Gino Antonio, age 61, was a trucker, security guard, and reserve police officer. His body was found on November 19th near a remote logging road in Dixie County. He had been shot 4 times. Aileen was a suspect from the beginning. When police found her fingerprints at some of the scenes, as well as items that had been pawned belonging to the victims, she and Tyria stayed under the radar for a while, until January 9th of 1991, when Aileen was arrested at the Last Resort Biker Bar for an outstanding warrant since they couldn't prove she had killed the men, just that she had been with them. Tyria was found in Pennsylvania and agreed to get a confession from Aileen in exchange for immunity. Police took her back to Florida and put her in a motel where she tried to contact Aileen to meet up. On January 16th, Aileen confessed to the murders, claiming they were all in self-defense. Her trial for the murder of Richard Mallory started on January 14th of 1992. With the help of Tyria's testimony, Aileen was found guilty. During her sentencing, psychiatrist for the defense said that Aileen was mentally unstable and diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. She was sentenced to death. During the trial, her defense tried to use the records from Richard's charges showing he had served time for rape. However, the judge refused this to be admitted into evidence and denied Aileen's request for a retrial. On March 31st of 1992, Aileen pleaded no contest to the murders of Charles Humphreys, Troy Burris, and David Spears, saying she wanted to get right with God. She said she wanted to confess that Richard Mallory did violently rape her, but the others did not. They had only started when she decided that she was going to kill them. On May 15th, she was given 3 more death sentences. In June, she pleaded guilty to the murder of Charles Carskadone, and in November, she got her 5th death sentence. In February 1993, she pleaded guilty to the murder of Walter Antonio and got another death sentence. Due to Peter Seam's body never being found, she was never charged with his murder. She ended up with a total of 6 death sentences. Aileen changed her story a lot as to why she killed them. She would say they raped her or attempted to rape her. Then she'd change it and say she was robbing them and didn't want to leave witnesses. During an interview, she said that all of the men she killed were in self-defense, but she could not stand being on death row anymore and she just wanted to die. Aileen was originally sent to the Florida Department of Corrections Broward Correctional Institute Death Row for Women before being transferred to Florida State Prison for her execution. She tried to appeal in 1996, but it was denied. In a 2001 petition to the Florida Supreme Court, she stated her intentions to dismiss her legal counsel and terminate all pending appeals, saying, "I killed those men, robbed them as cold as ice, and I'd do it again too. There's no chance in keeping me alive or anything because I'd kill again. I have hate crawling through my system. I am so sick of hearing this she's crazy stuff. I've been evaluated so many times. I'm competent, sane, and I am trying to tell the truth. I'm one who seriously hates human life and would kill again. Her execution by lethal injection was on October 9th, 2002. She didn't want a last meal, instead just asked for a cup of coffee. Her last words were, "Yes, I would just like to say I am sailing with the rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus. June 6th, like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back. I'll be back." She died at 9:47 a.m. She was cremated and her ashes given to a childhood friend who took them back to Michigan and spread them under a tree. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please remember to like and follow the podcast wherever that you listen, and have a great day and stay safe out there. I'll be talking to you next week.